Good evening, everyone. This is our live coverage of our another winter storm that is impacting the region for the winter of 2024-2025. Of course, this is February 11th, 2025. It's a Tuesday evening, and snow's starting to break out around the region. Now, there is even still, as of right now at almost 5 p.m., differences in the model guidance in terms of how far north the snow is going to get. So we're going to take a look at some of the observations because, after all, this is about meteorology, not modelology. And I'm going to explain why. Right now, I feel pretty good about the current forecast I have in place. Yes, even for Philadelphia, I know some of you guys in Southeast PA have been burnt before, but I feel pretty good about this scenario in terms of the current forecast. So let's dive in and take a look at all of the information. So, first of all, here is our current forecast. In zone one, about a trace, maybe an inch via the snow showers. This really isn't your storm in the Poconos and the Catskills, but I am seeing some interesting observations, which we'll talk about in a moment. In zone two, this is where I'm expecting light snow, generally starting after 7 p.m., looking at about 1 to 2 inches of snow. It's clipping about half of Manhattan Island, northern half of Long Island and northern coast, the southern coast of Connecticut, and the immediate suburbs, northeast suburbs of New York City. Back towards Allentown. Zone 3 is where we start to get a little bit more moderate snowfall. And that goes from Lancaster to King of Prussia to Trenton, Freehold, and Belmar, and up towards Staten Island and the southern portions of Long Island, where I got about 2 to 4 inches of snow. And then we start getting into the heavier snowfall that's expected of 4 to 8 inches. Now, in zone 4, the base for most people is going to be 4 inches of snow. But because of mesoscale banding, there will be an area where it's going to push up to 6 to 8 inches of snow. Some model guidance has it around, let's say, Ocean County. Other model guidance has it as far south as Wildwood and cutting through Dover. So generally, everyone here gets 4 inches, and then wherever that mesoscale band sets up, that's where we start to see the 8 inches. So now we understand the forecast. Let's look at the observations, and we're going to continue to look at the observations every hour until about 10 p.m. And then by that point, the evolution of the storm will be locked in, and then we'll see what the results are by tomorrow morning when I return at 5 a.m. So, taking a look at the current observations now, snow is already starting to break out. Ladies and gentlemen, it is snowing in Philadelphia already. Light snow. It is snowing in Delaware, northern Delaware, central, and southern Delaware. In fact, down towards Georgetown, we're seeing moderate snowfall already being reported. And guess what? Moderate snowfall is already being reported in Wildwood, New Jersey. So this, once again, is setting up to be pretty nice. And it certainly argues against the HRR guidance, which was very, very suppressed even in the latest run. And this model supposedly it's updates every hour. So there is some sort of error going on there. Overcast cloud cover and what we call virga over central New Jersey and, of course, further north. Now, the temperature and the dew point here is really important to note here. Once the precipitation starts, these temperatures will fall back towards freezing. So even though it's in the mid 30s right now in many locations, those temperatures will fall below freezing and you'll still have snow accumulation. In this case, the mid levels are all below freezing. So there is no concern of mixing of any type, at least in the northern mid-Atlantic. As you head down towards, let's say, southern Delaware, you could see a little bit more sleet mixed in to this event. So taking a look at the radar right now, and, well, let's see here. Okay, so down here is where the snow is actually starting to fall from the sky. This is all what we call virga. And we'll look at a different level of the radar in just a few minutes to really dive in. But what really catches my eye is this up here. Now, this reminds me a lot of what we saw back on January 6th, where the storm was supposed to be suppressed, but instead you ended up with a nice little moderate band up here and produced some surprise snowfall. Now, I don't think that is exactly what's going to happen this time because we don't have the frontogenesis lined up, but this tells me just how far north the moisture transport is getting in the mid levels of the atmosphere, enough to produce a radar echo up here, which tells me my northern edge of potential precipitable precipitation is up here, not down here. So the HRR is down here, and this shouldn't even exist, which is why I'm throwing out the model right now. So this sets up your Virga here, and it's, as I look out the window in Freehold, New Jersey right now, overcast, the dew point is starting to rise, the temperatures are starting to fall. When you see the temperature and the dew point kind of getting closer, that's a sign of Virga, because what's happening is that moisture is increasing, it is moisturizing the atmosphere. So you end up with this cooling effect. And that's essentially what is occurring right now. On the infrared satellite picture, look where your strongest lifting is starting to focus, right into the northern mid-Atlantic. And you have this surge right here that is just driving right towards the mid-Atlantic, right towards Virginia, Northern Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and southeastern New York, and clipping portions of Connecticut. So this is lining up pretty much as expected. In the mid-levels of the atmosphere, in terms of the water vapor, again, pretty well established. It's pretty much exactly what I was looking to see for verification of the forecast. So the moisture transport is getting right up into central New York, exactly where you want it to be in the mid-levels. And the lower levels, it's not that far away either. Plenty of moisture feeding into this atmospheric environment. So why were some of the models so suppressed? Well, the idea was stronger convergence and confluence. Pardon me. Sorry about that. So the idea was stronger convergence and confluence, always popular around here. So that's always an issue. I do apologize. So again, let's take a look at our upper level winds here, and you can see right here, see this spread going on right now? This is all because of that divergence and diffluence that is setting up over the region. So with that divergence and diffluence, you're seeing this spread, and that allows your precipitation shield to push further north. And that shows up very nicely here on the latest upper level divergence on the SPC map. Okay, so this all tells me that your lifting is getting further north. At 700 millibars, you're seeing that convergence, and you're seeing that frontal genesis showing up. At 700 millibars, at 850 millibars, and at 925 millibars. So the frontal genesis is getting pushed further and further north and getting ready to line up. Now, when we take a look at the radar, what we're going to be watching throughout the day is, or throughout the evening, is this push northward. With this push northward, we'll see the evolution of snow starting to develop, reaching into central New Jersey. And by 9 p.m., we'll start to see it into northern New Jersey and the New York City metro. Again, you can already start to see some of that moisture transport already showing up here with some random snow showers, but your steady snow is all down here. So we'll continue to have updates. We'll have our next update at 6 p.m. and continue that through 10 p.m. as we watch the evolution of the storm, and also see if we need to make any changes based on what we're seeing. That is your latest update. I'll see you in an hour.